Hey, welcome back to another template design walkthrough. This new design is called Flow. So we're going to jump right in and take a look at the layer options that are available in this design to see how easy it is to customize these colors and get this set up. So starting at the top, as always, we have our color grading layers. These are grouped here with a few different layer options in here. This is going to add the final color contrast, kind of final touches to the image there. As always, you can tweak these by changing the opacity of the group, or you could turn on or off individual layers or change opacities of those if you wanted to customize that look of that finishing a little bit. Directly below that, these are layers I insert here for boosting the facial highlights. Again, for portraits, wanting to keep that attention on the face. These are just some layers to brighten those highlights on the face to keep that attention there, and we'll take a look at those in just a second. Below that, we've got some optional text in here, so keeping the text nice and simple so it doesn't clutter up this design. That can be turned on or off as needed based on how you'd like to use it. Below that, as always, marked in red is going to be where the subjects are placed, and you'll take notice there's two groups in this design. The top one is if you're wanting to use a subject with no feet, it's going to apply some fade to that. So if you want to do like a 3/4 length, and the one below that is just a group with no mask on it for your full length where you're adding the feet in there. We'll turn subjects on in just a second, take a look. Below that, we're going to get into our ribbon layers. So each of these that you see here are independently layered, and they each have a color control attached to them. Okay, so there's that top one. There's that one there. So the easiest way to see which one you're dealing with is just to turn them off and on, and you can see what's going on. There's a little shadow layer in here just to create a little bit of shadowing and some depth. All right, but to change these are just, again, a very simple color control here. So attached to each one of these is its color. So just double click on the solid color fill, and you could literally sample, a color directly out of, a uniform or a jersey or a school logo or something like that. Or you can, type in the hex value, or you could just come through with your sliders and pick whatever color you would like this to be. All right, so one thing to point out is you'll take notice that the color layers are set to an overlay blend mode, which is going to give them the saturation to really make them pop. And the ribbon layers themselves are actually set to a multiply blend mode. All right, so this is getting the best result of adding these ribbon type of elements over a white or a bright background. All right, so those are set to multiply. So you would notice if you try to drop a dark background in here, those are immediately going to go to black because, again, they are set to multiply, but that's how it gives that best look for this white background and this high key type of look here. All right, so just going on down again, if you wanted to change any of these ribbon colors, it's as simple as just picking the one that you want and coming through and grabbing or sampling a color. All right, so very easy and quick to change. So if we get down here a little bit, you're going to see there's this group of like these lighter background ones to give some texture back here. There is a little bit of color cast that I've added to apply over that just to warm those up just a little. That could be turned on or off if you'd like, or you could change that color cast. Again, it's just another simple color picker in here, so you could make it cooler, warmer, different tones. And then these are those background ribbons in here as well. You'll take notice these have a lower opacity on them. You could turn those up or down depending on how transparent you wanted those to be. So you could easily change those transparencies. And again, these also have color controls on them as well. So if you wanted to make all of these, this shade of red, you could just copy this hex value, click OK, and then just double click on each one of these and Command or Control V and paste that in there, and you can see how quickly you can update all of those colors. All right, so very, very easy to change those colors quickly and easily. Just below that, we do have our little corner shadow, which is going to make a kind of distinguish between where a floor would be or not. You could turn that off or on. It's not absolutely necessary, but it is just going to help create the illusion of a floor space there. And then there's a little bit of shading going on the background of the floor, just so it's not a pure solid white, and it just gives a little bit of depth there. But again, that could be turned on or off as needed. And then, of course, our white background layer is in there. All right, so there's all the layers, very easy to use. Let's jump in here and turn a subject or two on. So let's open our full length group. So again, you're just going to drop your subject in and then place or resize as needed. You know, very easily, Command or Control T, size your subject to whatever size you want to put them in and position them. And then once you're happy, it's just a matter of setting colors. All right, so color's already set to match this one, but I just wanted to point out if we were using this subject, we could come up here to our facial highlight boost. So this one is for the lighter skin here. And so just grab a white brush, make sure our mask is highlighted with the box around it here. Let's turn our flow up on our brush a little bit more. And we can come in and just boost those highlights on the face a little bit more. And if it's too bright, you're just going to turn opacity down a touch. And that's what that's designed to do, is just bring those facial highlights out so our attention is still on our subject as we want. All right, so as easy as that. So let's reset this. I'm just going to delete that mask, Alt Option, click a mask, and just reset that. So now our other option here versus a full-length subject is we could open this up and put a 3/4 subject in, okay? So whether you have them with or without their feet, it really doesn't matter, right? You can just, so we can see we have a full-length subject here, but if we wanted to make this 3/4, we could definitely just increase the size to wherever we're happy and just place, there we go. And you're gonna see there's a mask getting applied here. If we just hold Shift and disable that mask, you could turn that mask off if you wanna see the leg come all the way to the bottom. I thought the look of having it fade up from white actually looks pretty cool, so that's why we added that mask for the 3/4 or the no feet look. And then it's just as simply as changing your colors. So we could come down for this, let's say we wanted the blues to go purple and the reds to be gold. So let's go blue, and we're going to sample a purple color from the uniform. All right, easy as that. And then I'm just going to copy this number. And of course, you could always make this a little bit more vibrant if you wanted to pull that saturation up, definitely could. But once you're happy, just copy this number, Command or Control C, click OK. Come down to the next blue one. I'm going to paste that in. All right, and there we get our purple ribbon on that one. And then for the red ones, we'll just double click here, and I'm going to pick one of these yellow or gold colors, and that looks good. So we're going to copy this value to make sure the next one's the same. And they wouldn't all have to be the same. You could do variations in there. And then let's see what it looks like if we take our background ones, and let's just paste that same yellow in, but it's going to be, you know, we got that transparency, that opacity lowered, so it's going to be a very transparent yellow back there. But I think it looks pretty cool on this. Let's paste this in, and this one, and this one. See how quick that was just to set those colors. Last thing we'll do, back to the facial highlights. Let's bring our brush size up a little bit and just do the same thing. Just boost the highlights on her face a little bit there. And there we go, very easy to set those colors up and create it and knock those images out. So yeah, hopefully you get a whole lot of use out of this one. I would love to see what you make. Be sure to tag me. And one thing I just noticed is you can turn that floor shadow off for like those 3/4 links. But yeah, hope to see what you make. Please tag me, share in the Facebook group JHP Backgrounds, and I would love to see what you're making with this and love to hear feedback from your customers. All right, see you on the next one.